So they're succulents. They've got these curved leaves that actually hold water really well.
Monty shows Georgie how to prepare her pots with a layer of gravel on the bottom and then a mixture of gravel and soil.
Give it a good stir like you're making a cake. That's it. Brilliant. That's fantastic. So we mix that up like that and pour it in. So we've got a nice gritty mix. Now you choose what you want to plant and I'll do it for you. Or you can do it.
These ones?
OK, you take that out. See what it's like. Just take it out.
OK. I'm afraid I'm going to break it.
You won't break it. Don't worry. That's it. Now that's been soaked.
Yeah.
So it doesn't normally ever need to be as wet as that.
So,
you put it where you want to put it.
Here.
OK, so that's it. You don't need to cover it up completely because we're going to put the grit round, probably a little deeper than that.
OK, so...
Because it's quite a deep one, that one. Yeah. OK, that's good.
Monty explains to Georgie that this is a good time to plant alpines so that they can become well established before the winter returns.
OK, so...
And what you'll find is these will grow out and expand, and maybe you want to add one or two more bits, maybe you don't. The final thing is they must go somewhere sunny.
Yeah.
Well done. That's your garden started. Stipa gigantea really needs good drainage and full sun, and these grow individually.
Okay.
So you never get them in vast drifts or clumps. So if you take it out of the pot, that is fairly pot bound.
Yeah.
And what I always do in this situation is don't try and unravel it, just break it.
Oh, okay.
Just get your thumb in or a knife or whatever it may be, just break it like that. And what that's going to do is stimulate regrowth. Your lovely soil,
It's easy to work.
which is the easiest in the world to work, and for a lot of plants would be too light, but for Stipa, heaven. And you shouldn't have to water it too much. Once it's really established and watered in, British rain should see it through. Give them a good soak once they're planted, and thereafter most of them will do fine. But one little tip I can show you is if you have a lovely fern like this Arthurium, which is fantastic, and you want to put it into a bigger pot, put some compost in the bottom like that, stick that on top, just gently pour soil, don't push or pack it around it, all the way around. Carefully lift that out, so it leaves a hole, pull that out, pop it in. Water it in gently, it'll subside a little bit. The roots will find their own way out. If you want to top it up a little bit later, you can do that. And that's potted on. And that, you've got the right proportion all around it. You've got exactly the same space all around. It's got room for it to grow into, and that's fine. The first thing is, it needs absolute full sunshine. It hates shade.
This is a perfect spot then.
Good. The second thing it needs is very, very good drainage.
Okay.
And this, of course, is sand over hardcore, so it should drain really well.
And Monty's created the perfect mix, consisting of half subsoil and half sharp sand.
A lot of plants won't grow at all well in that,
yeah.
but time will. So we'll just make a bit of a hole in the middle.
And then
Plant
just
that in there like
prise
that.
it in.
And then, with this, just grout round it so the roots have a little bit of goodness, but only a little.
And eventually this will expand and grow.
Exactly. You can see I've dug a hole that's much too deep. I'm not going to plant it that deep. To ensure there's good drainage, I think some of your gravel in the bottom there, mixed up with a little bit of manure, will just give it a good start. You see, we'll add soil to that. What it means is if you have a very wet winter, or there's, a puddle forms that runs off, it's not going to be sitting in water, which is what you don't want.
Right.
It's absolutely fine.
Once the vine is planted, it gets a good watering in. Monty also suggests mulching the soil around the base, as well as adding a top layer of well-rotted manure for some extra nutrients.
You should repeat that every spring, and then that will help as it grows, that will help boost it, and that's the feed it needs.
It's time to get the herbs in.
This is the apple mint, so we'll just loosen that up a bit. And I don't try and untangle it,
No, okay.
just break it. And what that will do is stimulate new growth.
Right.
Just rough it up. And then we'll put that in there, like that. And the advantage of that is it won't then spread and fill the whole thing.
And take over.
Yeah, and take over.
Okay.
Let's have some lemon verbena.
Okay.
So we'll put that in there.
Got 3 of these.
The lavender and then lemon verbena and any Mediterranean herbs will like is the drainage.
Oh, right, okay.
They will love that because with the rubble underneath, this will drain really well.
Yeah.
So it's got some goodness, but it will also drain. Sprinkle it on like this. And then fork that lightly in. The idea is to dig it first,
Yeah.
then spread your gravel or grit as much as you've got, then fork that in,
Right.
then it's ready for planting. And already, you can see by the way the fork is going in the ground.
So much lighter, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. Okay. If you can plant easily like that, it does make life a lot easier. We don't want it too deep. You don't want any deeper than the height of the soil.
Okay.
And if you really hit a clayey bit, you'll do no harm by simply putting a bed of stones for it to sit on. And that means when the roots go down, they don't sit in water.
Okay.
They may well grow through it, but there's a kind of barrier. If it's really heavy rain, if they sit in a puddle, they'll die.
Rot. Yeah.
They will rot and die.
With the lavender in, Denise is keen to try Tom's suggestion of planting into her brickwork, but there's a problem.
The walls seem very finished. There doesn't seem to be many natural crevices and holes and nooks and crannies that we can plant into.
So if we make our own nooks and crannies,
If you're happy.
and yeah,
Get a hammer, get a chisel, and we'll nook and cranny to our heart's content.
okay, lovely, I'll do that.
Undaunted by having spent a small fortune on her folly, Denise seems quite happy to watch Monty knock holes in it.
Immediately, it makes the wall look more interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah,
A little bit of soil. Take a section off. Push that in there like that.
I like that, and I like the colours of that. With the
Yeah, I agree.
She's chosen a selection of alpines and succulents, which are really easy to plant. All that's required is a hammer and chisel. Over time, these plants will self-seed and spread over the brickwork, creating the aged appearance and coverage that Denise is after.
They're called house leeks because they grow on the roofs of houses, and they've evolved to grow with very, very poor soil. We'll just put, if we're lucky, root in there. Okay.